Hello, this is Ronette with Freedom and Passive Income. And today we are going to answer the question, what year did they stop making copper pennies? And so if you're new to my channel, the purpose of my channel is to empower you with tips, strategies, and information to help you transition from paycheck to paycheck to freedom and passive income. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure that you download my free book, and it's entitled Make, Manage, and Master Your Money. And it will help you, give you an overview of the best way to get started in managing and optimizing your finances. So this is going to be a fun video for me. Actually, I'm going to do this a two-part series. I'm going to do another video that's going to answer another question about whether it's worth it to collect copper pennies. But as you can see, we are on coinflation. And coinflation has been around for quite a few years. And what it does, this website keeps track of pretty much all the coins that have been in circulation and the coin values. And it gives you a general idea about that, you guys. I don't know. Lately, my videos have been stalling and doing all that, and I needed to make sure that this was going to come out right. So anyway, I was just talking about how coinflation has been around for quite a few years, and it's a very good resource for finding out the value of your current coins that you have in circulation. And so as you can see, copper pennies, they stopped being minted in, well, it was technically 1982, but it was like the middle of the year. And so a lot of people, I was never really good at it. I mean, I've literally gone through thousands of copper pennies, and I never was really good at, throwing it on the ground or on a table and listening to it to determine whether it was copper or not. It just frustrated me to no end. So I was never comfortable with doing that. So I have some 1982s. I'm more of if I feel it and I see it, I can kind of tell whether it's copper or not. So I have both. I have 81 and 82. You can't go wrong if you save copper pennies up until 1981. 1982, you got to kind of come up with your own way to figure out whether it's really copper or not. So anyway, the answer to the question for this video is that they stopped making copper pennies in 95% copper pennies in 1982. And I have not seen this website in a long time, because it was years and years and years ago that I decided that I was going to start collecting copper pennies. And back then, I probably say the last time I did some cornrow hunting, that was which is what they call it, was probably about, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And I've never seen this metal value for copper inside the penny to be more than 2 cents, and now it's at 3 cents. And that's just like mind-boggling to me. But what it does is it just confirms the concern that we all have with the massive amount of money printing that has taken place the last year or two, but especially just the fact of our monetary history, about how our purchasing power has been on the decline ever since, basically ever since 1913, ever since we got off the gold standard. And that technically was in 1971, but they stopped. They started taking if you can look at this, this chart kind of helps you see that they started taking our silver out of circulation in 1965, and then they took the copper out of circulation in 1982, and it's just been a continual debasement of our currency and reducing our purchasing power, and that's theft. And so, but the reason why I get excited about copper pennies, I get excited about copper, is because there's a lot of conversation about, collecting silver dimes and gold, which I have those things. But when I first got started collecting precious metals, I didn't have a lot of money. I mean, I started with the silver dimes, but I was still very limited. And when I found out what had happened with our money, I was so upset and I was so nervous, and I I felt so helpless because I didn't know anything about this. And I'm thinking, okay, well, if the currency crashes, what in the world am I going to do? I have nothing. I have no silver. I have no gold. You know, I don't have a lot of money to go out and buy all of this. And so I saw videos, and I saw videos about people that were saving their copper pennies. And at that time, you could get, when you would get a roll of pennies, more than likely, I would say about, I would say probably maybe about a half to third of the time, I will pull out copper pennies. Now, not so much. I think maybe about, there still might be 10 to 15% of copper in circulation among our copper pennies. As I've done it, you know, a few times since then. Since I got the amount that I wanted, I've done it a few times, and I just was not getting the same amount of copper that I was getting before. But anyway, so what I did was I bought a box of pennies. I just got a box of pennies at the bank, $25. And then I would sort through those pennies. I'll pull out all the copper, and then I would take the zinc pennies, and I would go to like Walmart, where they have those coin machines. You can put the coins in there, and it'll count them for you, and then, you know, you can get, you know, dollars back for it. And yes, I did pay a fee to do that, but it was worth it to me for the convenience, because I was already spending time pulling out the copper, and I just didn't, you know, I didn't want to roll up those pennies and take them anywhere and count them. Those zinc pennies, I just kind of wanted to be done with them. And so what I would do is I would take that money that I got from the zinc pennies, add a little bit to it to come up with $25 again, and then I would go get another box, and I would just keep doing that. And so that was a lot cheaper and economical for me when I was getting started. And so it just joys my heart to know that this is still an option for people that are on a tight budget, but they want to do something to protect their purchasing power. In the next video, I'm going to share with you how valuable these coins can be if we ever have any type of financial crisis. I did not, and I still don't collect copper pennies. Now, I don't do the coin roll hunting, but what I do is, you know, whenever I have change, I'm always looking for my copper pennies, and I have a jar in my closet that I keep. You know, everybody has a jar of change. Well, I keep a jar of copper pennies, and I also keep a jar of nickels, because nickels, if you notice here, nickels also have copper in them, and the nickel right now is worth almost 6 cents. And so in a time of economic crisis, these pennies could possibly be a lifesaver in terms of feeding a family, or being able to get some gas just to be able to get by until they can figure out something else and try to weather the storm when that does occur. And so anyway, yeah, so the copper penny was discontinued technically in 1982. That was about the middle of the year. So you have about half of them that from 1982 are copper, half of them are about zinc. But everything from 1981 on back is 95% copper. So anyway, I hope this was helpful to you. Again, if you haven't done so already, make sure you download my free book. It's Make, Manage, and Master Your Money. And then I have a ton of information in the description, you know, free information or resources that will be helpful to you. And I'm going to do a part 2 of this video, and I'm going to talk about the value, how valuable copper pennies can be if they are used in a time of crisis. And anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.